The allure of the unseen in America's state parks. In the vast tapestry of American landscapes, state parks stand as natural sanctuaries where modernity bows to the ancient rhythms of nature. These protected lands, spanning from mist-shrouded mountains to whispering forests and sun-drenched deserts, offer more than just scenic beauty and recreational opportunities. Beneath their picturesque surfaces lies a realm where history, mystery, and the supernatural intertwine, creating an irresistible allure for those who seek encounters with the unknown. While many visitors come seeking outdoor adventures or peaceful escapes, others are drawn by tales of spectral apparitions, unexplained phenomena, and chilling historical events that continue to echo through time. The concept of haunted locations has fascinated humanity across cultures and centuries, but there's something uniquely compelling about state parks serving as vessels for paranormal activity. Unlike urban legends confined to cities or ghost stories tied to specific buildings, these natural spaces carry echoes of countless human experiences layered upon millennia of natural history. The combination of preserved wilderness areas with remnants of past civilizations creates a perfect storm for supernatural speculation. From Native American burial grounds to pioneer settlements, from Civil War battlefields to abandoned mining camps, state parks often encompass sites of significant historical trauma and cultural significance. What sets state parks apart in the realm of paranormal investigation is their accessibility to the general public. Unlike private properties or restricted military installations that feature in many ghost stories, these locations welcome millions of visitors each year. This constant flow of witnesses contributes to a rich tapestry of documented paranormal claims, ranging from visual apparitions and auditory phenomena to physical manifestations and equipment malfunctions. The contrast between the park's natural beauty and their alleged supernatural inhabitants creates a fascinating paradox. Places designed for recreation and conservation simultaneously harboring dark secrets and mysterious energies. For our exploration of the most haunted state parks in the United States, we'll journey through a carefully curated selection of locations where credible reports of paranormal activity have persisted across generations. Each park tells its own story, blending historical fact with supernatural folklore, creating narratives that challenge our understanding of reality. From the dense forests of the Pacific Northwest to the swamps of the Deep South, from the rugged coastlines of New England to the desert landscapes of the Southwest, we'll uncover the chilling tales that make these natural preserves not just places of beauty, but also realms where the veil between worlds seems perilously thin. As we embark on this journey through America's haunted state parks, prepare to encounter stories that will both thrill and unsettle you. Whether you're a seasoned paranormal investigator, a casual enthusiast of the supernatural, or simply someone who appreciates a good ghost story backed by historical context, these accounts promise to offer a unique perspective on some of America's most beloved natural spaces. Let us step beyond the boundaries of conventional tourism and venture into territories where hiking trails lead not just through physical landscapes, but through layers of history and haunting mystery. The enigmatic echoes of Chickamauga Battlefield State Park, nestled in the rolling hills of northern Georgia. Chickamauga Battlefield State Park stands as one of the most historically significant and reportedly haunted locations in the United States. The site of the bloodiest two-day Battle of the Civil War, fought September 19 to 20, 1863, this battlefield witnessed over 34,000 casualties, leaving an indelible mark on the land and perhaps explaining its reputation as a hotbed of paranormal activity. Visitors frequently report encountering Civil War soldiers in full uniform, hearing distant cannon fire and musket volleys, and experiencing sudden temperature drops along the park's extensive trail system. The park's infamous Snodgrass Hill area particularly draws attention from paranormal investigators and curious visitors alike. Rangers have documented numerous sightings of Union soldiers still marching in formation, their spectral figures emerging from the early morning fog. Equally compelling are the accounts from overnight campers near Wilder Tower, where disembodied voices and phantom footsteps regularly disturb the night's silence. What makes these reports especially credible is their consistency across decades, with descriptions matching historical records of troop movements and uniforms worn during the battle. Perhaps the most well-documented phenomenon occurs along the Lafayette Road corridor, where electronic voice phenomena, EVP, Recordings have captured what sounds like officers giving commands and soldiers crying out in pain. Professional paranormal teams have reported equipment malfunctions and inexplicable battery drains in this area, suggesting possible electromagnetic disturbances associated with residual energy from the battle. The park's visitor center houses a collection of photographs showing mysterious apparitions and orbs, many captured inadvertently by tourists simply documenting their visits. Adding another layer to Chickamauga's haunted reputation are the numerous reports from reenactors participating in the park's annual commemorative events. Several have claimed to feel an overwhelming sense of being watched while camping on the battlefield, only to discover upon waking that their tents had been surrounded by what appeared to be spectral cavalry units. Others describe feeling intense pressure on their chests while sleeping in certain areas, accompanied by dreams of suffocating under piles of bodies, a grim reminder of the real horrors that unfolded here during the war. The park's maintenance staff contribute their own chilling stories, including tools disappearing from secured storage areas only to reappear in different locations hours later. Some employees have reported seeing shadowy figures moving through the forest at twilight, wearing period-appropriate clothing but vanishing when approached. Particularly disturbing are the accounts of children's laughter heard near the site of the old field hospital, despite no playground or family-friendly attractions existing in that particular section of the park. Professional investigations conducted by multiple paranormal research organizations have yielded intriguing results. Thermal imaging cameras have captured heat signatures matching human forms in areas where no living person could physically be present. Electromagnetic field detectors consistently register spikes in locations corresponding to historical points of intense combat. Perhaps most compelling are the numerous instances where sensitive equipment has recorded what appears to be organized movement patterns matching known Confederate and Union troop deployments during various phases of the battle. While skeptics might attribute these phenomena to psychological suggestion or environmental factors, the sheer volume and consistency of reports from diverse sources, including experienced rangers, casual visitors, professional investigators, and military veterans, lend considerable weight to Chickamauga's status as one of America's most haunted state parks. The park's historical significance, combined with its ongoing role as a site of remembrance and education, creates a perfect storm of conditions that paranormal researchers suggest might facilitate spirit manifestation or residual hauntings. The preservation of Chickamauga Battlefield State Park as both a historical site and a natural preserve adds another dimension to its haunted reputation. The careful maintenance of original earthworks, monuments, and landscape features helps maintain the authenticity of the environment where these tragic events occurred. This preservation, coupled with the park's designation as a national military park, ensures that future generations will continue to experience both the historical significance and the mysterious atmosphere that makes Chickamauga such a compelling destination for those interested in the paranormal. Prairie Creek Redwood State Park. Deep within California's majestic redwood forests, Prairie Creek Redwood State Park hides a dark secret beneath its towering canopy. While daytime visitors marvel at the ancient trees reaching heights of over 300 feet, nighttime brings forth tales that chill even the most skeptical park ranger. Local legend speaks of the Lady in White, a spectral figure believed to be the spirit of a young woman who vanished without a trace in the 1920s. Her ethereal form has been spotted gliding between the massive trunks, her presence marked by the sudden appearance of white mist that defies explanation. The park's Big Tree Trail serves as ground zero for many paranormal encounters. Hikers report hearing soft whispers emanating from the dense foliage, though the words remain indecipherable. More alarming are the accounts of personal belongings being moved or rearranged while backpackers rest at designated campsites. Experienced outdoorsmen have described watching their gear slide across picnic tables as if pushed by invisible hands, only to find everything perfectly arranged when they investigate further. The park's maintenance logs contain numerous entries documenting equipment mysteriously transported from one location to another overnight, sometimes appearing miles away from their original placement. Perhaps the most unsettling phenomenon centers around the park's Roosevelt elk population. While these magnificent creatures typically maintain a safe distance from humans, visitors have reported strange occurrences involving the animals acting as if reacting to unseen entities. Multiple witnesses describe entire herds suddenly fleeing in panic from empty clearings, their alarm calls echoing through the forest. Biologists monitoring the elk population have noted unusual behavioral patterns coinciding with periods of reported paranormal activity, though they hesitate to draw direct connections between the two. The park's historic Gold Bluffs beach area adds another layer of mystery to Prairie Creek's haunted reputation. During low tide, beachcombers occasionally discover items that appear decades out of place: rusted mining equipment bearing manufacturer stamps from the 1800s, glass bottles containing unreadable notes, and peculiar artifacts that don't match any known historical record. Park archaeologists have examined several of these finds, confirming their age but unable to explain their appearance on beaches routinely patrolled by rangers and cleaned by maintenance crews. Nighttime security footage from the park's various observation stations has captured numerous unexplained occurrences. Thermal imaging cameras reveal heat signatures moving through restricted areas after hours, only to disappear when visible light cameras attempt to track them. The most compelling evidence comes from motion-activated wildlife cameras positioned deep within the forest, which have recorded blurred humanoid figures passing through frame at impossible speeds. When rangers investigate these locations the following day, they often discover circular patterns pressed into the forest floor, reminiscent of crop circles but formed from fallen redwood needles. Local Native American tribes, whose ancestral lands include the park's territory, speak of ancient spirits called tree walkers that inhabit the oldest redwoods. Tribal elders claim these spirits become restless when the forest's balance is disturbed, manifesting through environmental anomalies and influencing animal behavior. Their oral traditions warn against spending extended periods alone among the giant trees, particularly during lunar eclipses when the spirits are said to be most active. Modern visitors unaware of these warnings have reported experiencing severe disorientation and memory lapses after solo hikes during full moons, adding credence to the tribal legends. The park's visitor center maintains a confidential file of paranormal reports submitted by guests, ranging from minor oddities to deeply disturbing encounters. One recurring theme involves visitors reporting sudden, overwhelming feelings of dread while walking certain trails, accompanied by physical symptoms such as nausea and vertigo. Medical examinations have ruled out environmental causes, leaving park officials struggling to explain why these sensations consistently occur in specific locations throughout the park. The most affected areas correlate with known Native American ceremonial sites, suggesting a deeper connection between the land's spiritual significance and its reported hauntings. Professional paranormal investigators who have studied Prairie Creek Redwoods State Park note the unique acoustic properties of the forest may contribute to its haunted reputation. The dense tree cover and thick undergrowth create natural sound chambers that amplify and distort ambient noise, potentially explaining some auditory phenomena. However, this scientific explanation fails to account for verified cases of simultaneous audio and visual documentation of unexplained events, nor does it explain the consistent patterns of activity that defy seasonal weather variations and normal forest ecology. Ghosts beneath the waves. Dead Horse Point State Park, perched atop dramatic sandstone cliffs overlooking the Colorado River. Dead Horse Point State Park in Utah harbors a haunting legacy that dates back to its namesake tragedy. According to local lore, the park earned its morbid moniker in the late 1800s when cowboys corralled wild mustangs on the plateau using natural rock formations as a natural trap. When the cowboys failed to return and release the horses, hundreds perished from dehydration and starvation, their desperate cries echoing off the canyon walls for days. Today, visitors report hearing phantom whinnies and hoofbeats along the rim trails, particularly during windless nights when the desert falls silent. The park's visitor center houses a growing collection of photographic evidence supporting its haunted reputation. Amateur photographers capturing sunrise vistas from the main overlook often discover mysterious figures in their images, shadowy horse-like shapes galloping along the canyon floor where no actual animals could survive. More disturbing are the numerous reports of camera equipment malfunctioning precisely when attempting to document these phenomena, with batteries draining completely despite being fully charged moments before. Professional landscape photographers working in the area have documented similar technical issues, leading some to speculate about localized electromagnetic interference connected to the site's tragic history. Rangers conducting evening patrols report witnessing what appears to be ghostly riders traversing the park's network of trails. These apparitional equestrians materialize briefly before fading into the darkness, leaving behind distinct impressions in the sandy soil that vanish by morning. Particularly notable are the accounts from park maintenance staff who've encountered these spectral riders while performing routine checks on water systems and electrical infrastructure. Several have described feeling an intense cold radiating from these figures, accompanied by the overwhelming stench of decaying flesh and horse manure, a cruel reminder of the fate that befell the trapped Mustangs over a century ago. The park's campground has developed its own reputation for paranormal activity, with numerous guests reporting sleep paralysis episodes accompanied by the sensation of being crushed by immense weight. These experiences often coincide with vivid nightmares of drowning in quicksand or being trampled by stampeding horses. Morning inspections reveal physical evidence supporting these claims, including deep hoof-like impressions surrounding tent sites and broken tent stakes bent inward at impossible angles. Campground hosts have documented dozens of similar incidents, noting a pattern of increased activity during drought periods when water levels in the Colorado River drop significantly. Geological surveys conducted within Dead Horse Point State Park have uncovered another layer of mystery connected to its haunted reputation. Seismic monitoring equipment installed to study erosion patterns has detected anomalous vibrations originating from deep within the canyon walls. These tremors, occurring at regular intervals and lasting several minutes each, correspond precisely with historical accounts of the trapped Mustang's final death throes. Geologists initially attributed these readings to natural rock shifts, but subsequent investigations revealed no structural weaknesses or geological features that could explain the consistent timing and duration of the phenomena. The park's interpretive programs have unintentionally contributed to its paranormal lore through guided moonlight tours. Participants frequently report experiencing sudden temperature drops while standing near the canyon's edge, accompanied by the unmistakable sensation of warm breath on their necks despite the absence of other visitors. Night vision equipment used during these tours has captured fleeting glimpses of translucent figures hovering above the canyon floor, their forms shifting between human and equine shapes. Particularly compelling are the accounts from participants who felt their hair stand on end while photographing these apparitions, only to discover their cameras recording video footage showing nothing but empty space. Park officials maintain detailed incident reports documenting these phenomena, cross-referencing witness statements with environmental data and historical records. The resulting database reveals striking patterns connecting current paranormal activity to specific locations where cowboy camps and horse corrals once existed. This correlation extends beyond mere coincidence, as evidenced by repeated equipment failures and unexplained injuries occurring precisely at these sites. Maintenance workers tasked with repairing damaged infrastructure report feeling watched while working in these areas, often discovering tools moved or damaged when left unattended for brief periods. The park's unique geography amplifies its haunted atmosphere, creating an environment where sound travels strangely across the canyon. Acoustic experts studying this phenomenon have identified certain frequencies that seem to trigger paranormal manifestations, particularly during temperature inversions that trap sound waves within the canyon. These conditions often precede reports of increased activity, suggesting a possible link between atmospheric conditions and spirit manifestation. Visitors aware of these patterns can sometimes predict when and where paranormal encounters might occur, though park authorities strongly discourage purposeful attempts to engage with these phenomena. Devil's Den State Park, nestled in the Ozark Mountains of northwest Arkansas, Devil's Den State Park conceals a labyrinth of caves and crevices that serve as conduits for paranormal activity dating back centuries. The park's namesake Devil's Den cave system, carved by thousands of years of water erosion, bears witness to both prehistoric human habitation and more recent tragedies that have left their spectral mark on the landscape. Archaeological evidence suggests Native American tribes used these caves for shelter and ceremonial purposes, while written records document their use as hideouts during the Civil War and Prohibition eras, each occupation layer contributing to the site's complex haunted history. The cave system's most notorious resident is known locally as the Crying Woman, a spectral figure believed to be the spirit of a mother who lost her child in the caves during a flash flood in the early 1900s. Visitors exploring the upper chambers report hearing heart-wrenching sobs echoing through the passages, accompanied by the sensation of cold fingers brushing against their skin. Park rangers conducting safety inspections have documented temperature fluctuations up to 20 degrees Fahrenheit in specific cavern sections, correlating precisely with periods when crying sounds were reported by independent groups of visitors. Perhaps the most scientifically intriguing phenomenon occurs in the cave's lower levels, where geological formations known as flowstones display peculiar electromagnetic properties. Researchers using advanced spectrometry equipment have detected abnormal radiation patterns emanating from these mineral deposits, particularly concentrated in areas where eyewitnesses report seeing ghostly figures. The interaction between these electromagnetic fields and the cave's natural quartz crystals may explain the frequent equipment failures experienced by spelunkers and paranormal investigators alike. Cameras malfunction, compasses spin erratically, and digital devices record distorted audio containing what sounds like overlapping voices speaking in unknown languages. The park's Lee Creek Valley adds another dimension to Devil's Den's haunted reputation, with reports of phantom stagecoaches racing along old wagon roads long since reclaimed by nature. Eyewitness accounts describe seeing horse-drawn carriages illuminated by ghostly lantern light, driven by shadowy figures dressed in 19th-century attire. What makes these sightings particularly compelling is their association with verified historical routes used during Arkansas's frontier period. Park historians have matched witness descriptions to surviving documents detailing stagecoach operations in the region, lending credibility to claims that these apparitions represent actual historical events replaying themselves across time. Nighttime hikers along the Butterfield hiking trail often report feeling an oppressive presence while passing through certain sections of the trail. These sensations manifest as sudden shortness of breath, accompanied by the overwhelming smell of wet earth and decaying wood, odors that shouldn't exist given the trail's well-maintained condition. Park maintenance staff have documented unusual structural stress on these bridges, with mortar crumbling at accelerated rates and iron reinforcements developing rust patterns inconsistent with normal environmental exposure. Engineering assessments suggest these phenomena might relate to residual energy from construction accidents that occurred during the park's development in the 1930s. The park's campground, situated in a natural amphitheater surrounded by limestone bluffs, serves as a focal point for many paranormal encounters. Visitors report their tents shaking violently during calm nights, accompanied by the sound of rocks tumbling down the cliff faces despite no visible disturbance. Most disturbing are the accounts from families who've awakened to find their sleeping bags dragged several feet from their original positions, arranged in perfect circles facing the mouth of Devil's Den Cave. Park officials maintain a confidential log of these incidents, revealing patterns that correlate with lunar cycles and seasonal changes in groundwater levels. Professional paranormal investigators studying Devil's Den have documented compelling evidence suggesting intelligent haunting activity. Sessions conducted deep within the cave system have captured responses to direct questions posed in both English and Cherokee, with answers matching historical knowledge of the area's indigenous peoples. Thermal imaging cameras reveal heat signatures forming geometric patterns on cave walls, persisting for minutes before dissolving into the surrounding rock. These findings support the theory that the park's geological features might act as natural recorders, capturing and occasionally replaying significant emotional events from the past. The park's unique microclimate, created by the convergence of mountain ridges and valley formations, contributes to its haunted atmosphere through atmospheric effects that scientists struggle to fully explain. Fog banks form unpredictably within the valley, sometimes taking on human-like shapes that dissolve when approached. Temperature inversions trap sound waves in ways that create perfect conditions for audio hallucinations, yet verified recordings of unexplained phenomena persist even when accounting for these natural factors. Meteorologists studying these conditions have identified patterns that align with reported increases in paranormal activity, suggesting a possible environmental trigger for spirit manifestation. As we conclude our journey through America's most haunted state parks, we're reminded that the true power of these supernatural narratives lies not in proving their veracity, but in how they deepen our connection to the natural world. The stories we've explored, from the spectral soldiers of Chickamauga to the wailing spirits of Prairie Creek, from the ghostly horses of Dead Horse Point to the subterranean mysteries of Devil's Den, transcend mere ghost tales. They serve as portals through which we can better understand the complex interplay between human history, natural environments, and the unexplained phenomena that bind them together. These haunted state parks challenge us to view our protected natural spaces through a different lens, one that acknowledges the layers of human experience embedded within their landscapes. The persistent reports of paranormal activity, regardless of their ultimate origin, highlight the profound impact these places have had on those who've walked their trails, camped beneath their stars, and sought refuge within their confines. Whether these phenomena stem from residual energy imprints, psychological suggestion amplified by atmospheric conditions, or genuine supernatural occurrences, their cumulative effect enriches our appreciation for these sacred spaces. For those inspired to explore these haunted state parks firsthand, preparation becomes paramount. Beyond standard outdoor safety protocols, consider bringing along a journal to document your experiences, a quality flashlight with fresh batteries, and perhaps a simple voice recorder for capturing EVP sessions. Approach these locations with respect and reverence, recognizing that whether dealing with historical trauma, environmental anomalies, or potential spirit manifestations, you're engaging with forces far older and more powerful than yourself. Many parks offer ranger-led programs that touch upon their haunted histories, providing valuable context while ensuring your safety. The enduring appeal of haunted state parks rests in their ability to transform ordinary outdoor experiences into extraordinary encounters with the unknown. They remind us that wilderness areas aren't merely spaces for recreation or conservation. They're repositories of collective memory and potential gateways to dimensions beyond our immediate perception. As you plan your next adventure, remember that the line between natural wonder and supernatural mystery remains beautifully blurred in these protected spaces. Whether you're a skeptic seeking rational explanations or a believer chasing authentic encounters, these parks offer equally rewarding experiences that honor both scientific inquiry and spiritual curiosity. Ultimately, the haunted state parks of America invite us to embrace the mysteries that dwell alongside our natural heritage. They challenge us to listen more closely to the whispers of the wind through ancient trees, to watch more intently for shadows that dance independently of their casters, and to feel more deeply the pulse of history beneath our hiking boots. In doing so, we forge a richer relationship with our protected lands, one that honors not only their ecological significance but also their capacity to inspire wonder, contemplation, and perhaps even a healthy measure of spine-tingling fear.